Most people think the hardest part of a family relationship breakdown or a family estrangement is the initial breakup. But in truth, that is just the beginning. It's the unexpected emotional whiplash that no one seems to be talking about that really gets a lot of us. It doesn't matter which side you're on either. It happens whether you're an estranged parent, an adult child who's chosen to walk away, and even if you're the one who has escaped a toxic relationship or even more than one toxic relationship. You might see the anger and grief coming, but might not expect the sudden and overwhelming wave of relief that also comes with it. The whole thing is an emotional roller coaster that can make you feel like you're losing your mind. One day you're mourning the loss of a child or a parent or another family member, and the next, your nervous system finally feels safe enough to relax and you can start to breathe again and you actually feel good after it's over. If you've been caught in some of this back and forth, it's not a sign that you're broken. It's a natural response to surviving a complicated family system. Society loves to tell us that once you walk away and you set those boundaries or the estrangement happens, everything should be good and hunky dory now. They expect you to just get over it, move on, find peace, and never speak of it again. But if you've actually lived through a broken family situation, you know the real truth. It doesn't work that way. The hardest part isn't the initial family breakdown. The real battle is the confusing, high tension collision of very conflicting emotions that happen all at the same time. It can feel like an avalanche, but it's actually just your body trying to process the end of a broken family structure. Wherever you're at in this process, I beg you, I plead with you, please don't believe all the rhetoric that's out there that says the other side doesn't care or they're just fine or they're being selfish or entitled or whatever it is. Because even if they may have said some of those words, especially in anger, or even if they were the ones who initiated the break, once the dust settles, they're feeling all the things too. And if they're not, they're a robot. If you stay with me to the end of this video, we're going to talk about why this emotional whiplash isn't short-lived and why it can still hit so hard months and even years down the road. When a toxic family relationship shifts or things break to the point that we reach estrangement, something unexpected kind of happens in your body, especially if you're coming out of a situation where there's been repeat high stress, high conflict, high tension. Once that's gone, your nervous system finally gets to drop its guard a little bit, maybe for the first time in years, and you can actually feel like you can breathe a little bit. That constant state of high alert or waiting for the next shoe to drop or the next family drama to unfold and explode, once those things start to quiet down, actually feels kind of good. And it feels like freedom and relief and maybe even a little bit of happiness. But because you are a good, caring, and compassionate person, your brain pulls a tricky move. It quickly interprets that sudden feeling of relief at losing people as betrayal. And your mind starts spinning in circles, wondering, how can I feel relaxed and at peace when my family is so broken? What kind of a monster would feel anything good about this kind of a breakup? Here's what all the textbooks and the clinical lectures don't tell you. Your body and your nervous system are actually celebrating the fact that there is some physical and emotional safety now that the drama is over. But at the same time, your conscious mind and your heart are still dealing with the intense grief of losing that person. Relief and grief are meant to sit in the same room together. They aren't enemies. They aren't even opposites. They're just two different sides of the same coin. As you start to understand how to navigate through these kind of collisions, it really does bring a strange mix of relief and grief and sometimes sadness and anger and all kinds of other things that actually allow you to start healing through all of this or stop waiting for the other person to come around before you can move forward. I actually spend a lot of time with my coaching clients breaking this stuff down and looking at how generational trauma sets up these internal conflicts and how attachment plays into it. But for right now, I want you to realize that your relief doesn't make you a bad person. It's actually the first major step towards reclaiming your sanity. In fact, there's a very real reason that all of this stuff is happening. All of these conflicting emotions whip us around like a flag in the wind because there's still a major underlying factor at play. And that's that we still love these people, even when they've done terrible things or they've hurt us deeply. It's because we're biologically programmed to connect with our people. We are literally hardwired to love them. And you don't just switch off decades of connection because a relationship became unsafe. The confusion happens when the rose-colored illusions of the past suddenly crash down and become the clarity of the present. It's two realities that collide with each other and exist together, but will never, ever make logical sense. You can still love them even though they hurt you deeply. And because of that, you start mourning a relationship that you wish you had or the people that you thought they were, while realizing a very bitter truth that they aren't, and the relationship started dying long before it actually ended. On top of all of that grief, there's often a justified fury of being villainized, let down, and blamed by the people who were supposed to have your back or love you the most, or that you loved the most. It's also perfectly okay to feel incredibly glad that the constant family conflict and the daily drama and walking on eggshells is over. And yet you can simultaneously be heartbroken that it ended the way that it did. Just because you love someone does not mean that you have to tolerate their behavior that destroys your own sanity and your self-worth. You can hold love for them in your heart from a safe distance while protecting your peace. Both are okay. Both are completely normal. And those dual emotions don't make you crazy. They don't mean there's something wrong. They're actually a sign that you're doing something right and you're starting to move forward. So what do you do about those times when you think you've dealt with something and things are going really well, and then you get hit with an unexpected trigger? These are part of the emotional whiplash that catches so many of us off guard. You think you're having a great week, that life is good, that you're making real progress, and then all of a sudden a random trigger hits you out of the blue and it feels like it sets you back miles. And it leaves you wondering, didn't I already work through this stuff? Why is this still coming up? What did I miss? It could be an upcoming holiday, an obligatory family invitation, or the opposite, finding out something big did happen in the family and there was no invitation. Or it could be a certain smell, a place, or something that simply reminds you of that person that you still love and you are still connected to at some part of your being. And then suddenly it all feels too heavy to even breathe. Your mind knows you're safe now. You know you're safe and away from the chaos, but your body memory remembers the decades of emotional invalidation, the hidden trauma, and all of the moments of conflict. That sudden spike in panic or the short temper doesn't mean you're going backwards or that you're doing anything wrong. It might just mean that your nervous system is doing its job, that it's reacting to old family patterns, and it's an invitation for you to do some more healing work. This stuff isn't even conscious most of the time. It happens before your brain can even name what's going on. And it's just a systemic reality of surviving a broken family structure, not a sign that you're failing. Surviving the fallout of a family breakdown or a family estrangement situation is hard and it's heavy. But true emotional healing and nervous system regulation starts when you give yourself permission to dance with all that difficult stuff and all the hard days instead of letting them put you under. It's okay if you stumble. It's okay if the dance isn't very graceful. Just as long as you give yourself some grace and remember that you don't have to have it all figured out today. If you're in a place right now where all of this emotional whiplash feels like it's a bit too much, or things are a bit too loud, or you're not even sure where to start dancing the dance, I've created a free resource called the Family Drama First Aid Kit. It's designed specifically to give you immediate, gentle steps to help you settle your nervous system. You can grab your free copy of that by clicking the link down below in the description, or that will be run right in the first pinned comment as well. While you're there in the comment section grabbing that link, be sure and leave a comment and share a little bit about your journey. How are you getting through the sudden shifts, and how do you keep the emotional roller coaster to a minimum? Or what questions do you have about it? Let's talk about it. I read all of the responses and the comments that come in. I respond to all of them. And it's what helps our community feel a little bit less lonely and helps us feel a little less weird. Remember, peace starts with you. Go ahead and click on that next video right up here to keep walking this path. I'll see you over there.